What's up, home crew? Check, check. Can I get a mic check? You able to hear me? Check, check. Check, check. They're not answering. Wait, here we go. Cool, thank you. Password, password, 30 cancers. I feel like I just have to name it something else. That wouldn't work for me. I know. It's just a weird password to me. Whatever. Different word. I know what cancer they mean. I just went with a different word, like. So at least not cancer. I mean.
I didn't even go there. Mary told me she wasn't sending out emails this week because there's too much planetary shit going on.
Is that what it is? Is that what's going on? Planetary shit? All right. What's up? Anything y'all want to do today? Hmm?
Like outside of the hip and like, I don't know, it's whatever part of the hip this stuff is sort of around the outside.
Where the dimple is?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
But you know when your leg and hip just kind of don't want to work, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Put the ball in your butt cheek and go like this.
Not that spot.
Not there. Roll like this to this side.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll get, that's glute median piriformis. We'll get in there. All right, anyone else? Side bodies and a little glute stuff was what the request was. All right, let's do it. You hear me talk about side bodies long all the time, right? And that's like gonna be from your hips to your armpits. So you don't want to get your side bodies long from going like this, right? This would be the top of my shoulders. I'm trying to think the underneath part, right? So the best way to just get some side body length is just to take a big breath and inhale and think when you inhale, it's gonna like a cylinder is my cue, right? And I always say like, think like front to back, top to bottom, side to side, like a cylinder. It's expanding in all directions. When you expand, all this lifts up. Right, you start to peel between your ribs. Those are your intercostal muscles. Those are cool. Those do a couple different actions. So they're going to help lift. They're going to compress. Right, they're going to stabilize. There's a lot of shit that they do. So we want to feel that. When you also serratus anterior comes around, those are almost like fingers that like wrap around here like this. And when you get those to kick on, now all of a sudden you got all this support out here. This should be the space that I hold all the time. Right? But where is the space that we tend to fall into? Yeah. But this is what I should be able to hold. This is a lot of work, but that's why we do things like try to strengthen our core and try to, set ourselves up so when we're trying to hold the space, it's good. But you can feel that this wants to happen just like this wants to happen. But you don't want to work it up here. You want to work it from down here. So even while you're sitting here, just take a couple breaths. Root down into your sit bones and the outside of your feet, and then feel the ribs start to open up. Fill up, front to back, top to bottom, right? And then side to side. Let the eyes close. See if you're still holding that space, or did it try to crumble away a little bit? If it tried to crumble away, it's okay, just build it back up. When we say we use the breath for different things, this is it. This is one of those moments. As the inhale fills and lifts us, when you exhale, it just automatically draws your belly in, your transverse abdominis. That's your core, the deepest of your muscles, walls in your belly. And that kicks on just from exhaling. That's why when we do things like our inversions and we kick up, we want to exhale when we kick. Because we get that free core engagement just by exhaling. Besides letting the mind settle because of the exhale and that little softening in the wrist, right? There's a strong side to it. Just like everything has both sides, right? Muscle and organic energy. It's not always balanced because balance isn't always equal. But there's always, the elements are in each side. It's up to you to figure out what do you need to bring into the pose. So if you feel like you're rounding the shoulders and the chin's falling forward and the belly's starting to crunch, sit up taller again. You got to bring a little more intention to that upper back between the shoulder blades, like north to south, so from your head to your butt. Next inhale, let the arms lift. And you feel the inhale. And then the exhale, feel the fingertips and the knuckle pads come together. And now the breath goes to the space between our palms. From listening to yourself breathe, to slowing down the beginning of the inhale, to pushing more on the end of the exhale, all the way to Ujjayi breath. Where is it that you want to settle into? Notice, are you still holding that space? You know your body wants to take the path of least resistance, so it wants to crumble. Don't let it. Dive into the work a little bit. Re-energize your position. And one time together to initiate our practice, together the sound of Om. Deep breath in. Beautiful. As we softly bow our head to our hearts, our heads to each other's hearts. Inhale, lift the head, open the eyes, release the hands. All right, let's start out in child's pose. So child's pose will be toes are touching, knees are wide, arms are up overhead. Belly, the reason we take our knees wide is so we could settle our belly down between our legs here. So there's some space. Now here, there's a lot of times we rest in our child's pose and we put our forehead down and we kind of collapse into the mat a little bit. Here, start to energize this child's pose. So take a look at your fingertips, or take a look at your fingers, pointer finger straight forward or turned out. Start to claw into those fingertips and those knuckle pads, hug the hands into the midline. Start activating the arms, so lift the forearms up, lift the inner biceps a little bit, and then slide your forehead off the mat. Now, keeping your forehead or like the back of your throat working towards the ceiling, soften your chest towards the yoga mat. And you start to feel a little bit of an opening coming up those arms and those side bodies, but you're feeling that work between the shoulder blades again as you extend the spine, a little neutral extension. And then as you look forward, walk your hands to the right side. Now we're really in that side body. And as you walk your hands to the right, root down into that left sit bone. So that's going to be sit bone to heel, and that's below the waist. Now start to breathe up the side body, above the waist. Through those little riblets, up through the arm, up and out of the crown of the head. Even here, on an inhale, take a big inhale and breathe like the left side of your ribs to the front left corner of your mat, and then walk your hands to the right a little bit more, and you're going to get this big peel out in that lat. And then inhale, come back to center, soften down the middle, and then the next inhale as you look forward, walk your hands towards your left. Now, don't overdo it. Like, settle the pose a little bit because you can work it for as long as we hold with each breath. So you root into the right sit bone. You start to feel that peel come right up off the hip. QL is just above your pelvis. You feel that starting to open up a little bit. Spinal erectors are the muscles running up your spine. And then on an inhale, breathe to the front right corner of your mat. It expands. And then on the exhale, walk a little deeper to peel. Nice, y'all. Next inhale, come back to center, soften down the middle. Next inhale, come up, all fours, hands and knees. Hands an inch or two in front of your shoulders, knees an inch or two behind your hips. Same thing, make sure the pointer fingers are forward or turned out a little bit. Spread those fingers. Curl the toes. Pull the belly to the spine and the shutters are closed. This is what wants to happen. I got to be here, belly to spine. Now, this is too much. We're not there yet. We're just looking for neutral. Now, slide the head and the throat back. Bring the chin to the chest just a little bit so your gaze, where you're looking, is right across your fingertips. Low mountain. Use the breath. Keep building it up. Feel those side bodies lengthening. And then with all that space, work your cat-cow. Inhale, arch the back, lift the sit bones, reach through the crown of the head. Exhale, round the back. Look to your belly. Lengthen your sit bones towards your heels. Your inhale, arch. Your exhale, round. Now move with your breath. Inhale feels those heads of those arm bones rooting nice and deep. We feel that work between the shoulder blades again. We feel those sit bones blossom or widen. And then on the exhale, to get into your upper back or your neck, you're going to look to your belly more. To get into your lumbar spine, you're going to lengthen the sit bones behind the knees a little bit. One more. We'll come to a neutral position, so find that flat back. Pull that belly in again. Close those shutters. Right arm up, left leg back, spinal balance. Pull the belly in, pull the shutters closed. Slide the throat back to the ceiling and only have your toes off the floor about like maybe 4 to 6 inches. Exhale, lower. Left arm up, right leg back. We're not looking for this. This is engaging my low spinal erectors and hammering my pelvis forward. All I'm looking for now is extension out of my hip, right? Just getting that glute to turn on a little bit, those hamstrings to turn on. Exhale, lower. Right arm up, left leg back. Thumb points up, toes point down. Lift from the inner edge of the forearm, the inner edge of the thigh. Exhale, lower. And then the expression, left arm up, right leg back, is reach back out of your heel. Reach forward out of your fingertips, forward out of the crown of the head, even breathing side to side. Exhale, lower. Put it with the breath. Inhale, right arm up, left leg back. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left arm up, right leg back. Exhale, lower. Work on your breath. Like you're kicking a leg press back as the heel pushes back to the wall. There's like that much intention in extending the hip. Extension of the hip seems easy, but it's really hard for us. External rotation is easy. Abduction, a little more challenging, but that extension, pretty tough. One more each side. We'll meet back in that low mountain. Take a breath. Plank. Downward dog. You can bend the knees in the first downward dog.
pedal the heels. You can swivel the hips. All right, whatever feels good to you here. First one. And come to a neutral position. Keep hugging the hands into the midline. Keep those forearms lifting up, inner biceps lifted up. It should feel like the heels of your hands are getting light and you're driving the weight into your fingertips and your knuckle pads. Now, as you keep hugging the hands in, you keep lifting those forearms and biceps. Now, push your hands forward. Take your chest back towards your toenails. Pull the belly, pull the shutters closed. Slide the head and the throat back. Engage the legs. Now, maybe reach from the hips down the bottom of the back of the legs and at the bottom of the heels. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. Take 3 nice breaths.
Squeeze those shoulders back and down away from your ears. After your 3 breaths, lower the chest, push up through plank, back to downward dog. Now in downward dog, you could keep your knees bent. This might feel better. If it feels better to straighten your legs, straighten your legs. It's not like a one's right and one's wrong thing. Feel those side bodies starting to peel open here. Long from hips to armpits. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. 3 nice breaths. You can stay low. You can come up a little higher. Whatever feels good to you. After your 3 breaths, back to chaturanga or lower your chest. Push up through plank. Back to downward dog. Reach the right leg straight back. Step it through, lunge. Yep, high in your fingertips of your blocks. Put the weight into your legs. So keep pushing down into your feet and pulling that front heel back and the back toes forward and hugging into the midline. So shins to the center, even though they're not next to each other. Pull that pelvic floor up. Pull that belly in. Pull the shutters closed. Heart's reaching out front. Throat's back, right? The chakra's coming up. Gaze is out front of us. Reach through the crown of the head. One more breath. Then exhale, lower the back knee. Inhale the arms in front, plug them in, take them up overhead. Pull the belly in, pull the shutters closed. Let the right hand grab that left wrist. Inhale, go up. Take that side bend to the right. So by pulling the shutters closed, and we take this side bend to try to get the psoas to stretch more, but you're feeling that left side body as well. But stay with the shutters. Take your head and throat back. Take your arms back a little bit more, and then go in that side bend just a little bit deeper. One more breath. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, hands down to the blocks. Flip them up nice and high. Lift your back knee. Slowly straighten your front leg. Square your left hip forward and down a little bit. Look forward. Climb the spine up out of the waist. And then if you want, you can fold down the inside of that right leg. But keep the spine long here. This is the common tendency. So don't look to the middle of your mat. Look out in the front of your mat. There's that spine long again. Now keep the power in the legs. Keep the core connected. And then hinge at the hip crease instead of crunching at the belly. One more breath. Look forward, bend into that lead knee, lunge. Left hand stays down, right elbow draws back. Take the twist. Keep this left shoulder spinning back, like rooting back. Maybe even start to look up a little bit, play with the balance. Inhale, come back to center, place the hands down, step back, downward dog. Nice, y'all. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. Exhale, lower back to chaturanga or lower your chest. Push up through plank. Back to downward dog. Reach the left leg straight back. Step it through, lunge. Hips width apart. Front toes facing 12 o'clock, back heel pointing straight up to the sky. This is the common tendency. It tries to fall in. So sweep the inner heel out. Then pull the energy up through the legs, up through the core, right on up out of the crown of the head. And then if you feel like you can hold this leg up, see, we reach the heel back. If this is happening, then you stay higher on the ball of the foot. But otherwise, we want to reach the heel back behind us. One more breath. Then exhale the knee down. Inhale the arms in front, plug them in, take them up overhead. Head and throat back. Yep, pull those shutters closed. Then the left hand grabs the right wrist, and we take that side bend to the left. If you need to do any of those adjustments, adjust a little bit. Here's like where we started. On an inhale, take a big breath on the right side of your ribs to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Over there, to the bricks. And then go ahead and go a little deeper to the left on the peel. Yeah, one more breath. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands down. Lift the blocks up. Then lift the back knee. Then straighten the front knee. When you straighten the front knee, remember we got to stop before it hyperextends. So don't push your knee towards, like your kneecap towards the mat behind you. Pull your kneecap up to your waist. And then square yourself. So bring that right hip forward. Then peel the spine forward. Yeah, because anytime we move the hips, the next breath we want to adjust the spine because that relationship has changed. And then you can fold into the pose. Keep letting the hinge happen at the hip, not at the belly. All right? Hip hinge is part of human movement. Crunching at our belly is our misalignment. One more breath. As you look forward, bend into the lead knee, lunge. Right hand down, left elbow draws back. Keep lifting that right thigh up, but soften the left one down. Then maybe start to reach up. This time we're spinning that right shoulder back. See how I'm trying to get my thigh parallel with the floor the best that I can? That way, as I'm working hard to lift my right thigh, I'm balancing it out by softening the left. Maybe look up, play with the balance. Inhale, come back to center, place the hand down, step back, downward dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. Work on your breath, not my voice. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. Exhale, lower back to chaturanga or lower your chest. Push up through plank. Back to downward dog. Look forward, bend your knees, step or jump between your hands, swing your arms up, take a nice big reach. And draw that belly, lengthen those sit bones down. Maybe curl back. Inhale, come up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look forward. Feel that spine get long. Feel those side bodies lengthen. Feel the head and the throat slide back. And now as you fold, try to hinge at that hip crease. Then at the very end, when you can't go anymore, go ahead and let that upper back go. But let that be last. It's going to try to be first. If you feel like you lost it a little bit, your next inhale, just look forward. Drag your fingers back towards your toes. It'll peel that spine forward again. And then go ahead and fold into pose again. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. Sit back as the knees bend, swing the arms up, take a big reach. Draw that belly and lengthen those sit bones, curl back. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands in front. Let your thumbs come to heart center. Let your eyes close. Tadasana, variation. Let your eyes close. Let your thumbs flick your heart out in front of you. Go back to your breath. Full breath in, complete breath out. Gently open your eyes, release your hands. Triangle, right leg forward, left leg back. So, the reason that I ask you all to take your arms out to the side and we spend a couple breaths here is to peel those side bodies open, because we live like this, crunched into this area. How are you going to hinge if you're crunched? You need to make the space first. So get tall here. Root down into your feet, but breathe above your waist and get nice and tall. Yeah, now hinge at that right side of the hip. Bring the hand down to the block or the floor. I even exaggerate it a little bit. I go above my shoulders with my hands to get that side body to really peel. Because now we got this next challenge in the side body. The right one is going to try to side crunch, right? Like side bend, like this. You got to go this way. Engage the top side and try to open the underneath. And maybe you start to look up. That challenges the balance. Keep spinning that right shoulder back. Yeah. One more breath. Inhale, come up, bend into that lead knee, warrior two, elbow to the thigh, sweep the bicep up, come to extended side angle, Utthita Parsvakonasana. Belly to spine, shutters closed. If you want to take the hand down to the block or the floor, feel free. If you want to start to rotate open. Take the top of the ribs back and the bottom of the ribs forward. Breathe. Inhale, come up, warrior two. Straighten the leg. Get tall. Triangle. Left hand to left hip. Bend the front knee. Half step in or kick up, Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. Keep the heel heavy on your right foot. So reach your left heel to the wall behind you. That'll help keep your right heel heavy. Kick those toes forward just a little bit, so if you scan down your body, you can see them. Challenge the balance all the way, maybe looking up the arm. One more breath. Lower that left hip, square it up. Standing split. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. Reach that left heel to the sky. And then lower that left leg. Walk the hands back in. Sit back as the knees bend. Swing the arms up. Big reach. Maybe curl back. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands in front. What's the distance of your arm out in front of you in Ardha Chandrasana? From your hip to your armpit, right? So when I take my block out in front of me, I'm just here, hip to armpit. See, if I'm out here, I'm too long. Just like if I'm back here, I'm too short, right? So that's going to be the space that you're looking for. Just like if your arm was out like this, hip to armpit. Come on, try side two, triangle. So the left leg's forward, the right leg's back. Find what that distance is. That's why I always bend into my warrior two or my Parsva, because that I know that distance a little bit easier. Keep the thigh back. It's going to try to do this on you. Keep it back. Yeah, now get those side bodies. This is what I tend to do. Now, this is my style, right? We talked about style last week. This is my shit, right? Whatever yours is, it could be the same, but like, this is where I'm trying to get the lift because I know I'm crunching into that. When you're ready, hinge. Right? Could be the same, could be a little bit different. It's whatever's going to bring the best out in your practice, right? And that's what you got to think about. That's what the style was about, right? It's not about looking cool. It's about you being cool in your practice, right? Keeping it all together instead of letting that shit crumble. Maybe look up. Because that's what you're supposed to be, right? Cool, calm, and collected in your practice. Not suffering, not panicking. Push into that front heel. Inhale, come up tall. Yeah, see if you got all that space still. Bend into that lead knee. Then the elbow to the thigh. Sweep the bicep up along the cheek. Then the hand down to the block or the floor. Right? That's why I say to y'all, soften your face. Because when you soften your face, then you're cool in the pose, right? Everything's chill. Pull the belly in. Start to rotate a little bit. Take the top of the ribs back. That's where it starts to get real challenging, right? But don't run away from that. Dive into that. One more breath. Inhale, come up, warrior two. Then push that front leg straight. Then get nice and tall. Then hinge into the triangle. Then bring the right hand to the hip. Then bend the left knee. Then step up or drag that foot. That'll bring a little more muscle energy to the pose if you drag that foot. Now keep the heel heavy, because when you lose your balance, like 9 out of 10 times, it's towards the ball and the toes. Keep the heel rooted. Kick the right toes forward a little bit. Take the right arm up to the sky. Maybe start to look up. Ugh. One more breath. Inhale, lower that right hip. Come to standing split. Next inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold over that left leg. Reach that right heel to the sky. And then exhale, lower it down. Walk the hands back in. Sit back as the knees bend. Swing the arms up. Big reach. Pull the belly. Take those shutters closed. Curl back. Inhale, come up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. Nice, y'all. Balance the weight in the feet here. That'll start the whole thing in a good place. If we're too far forward or if we're too far back, then those misalignments are going to try to take over a little easier. But if we're working towards those good neutral spaces, we're going to be able to hold on to everything. And that was one of our things, right? What can we hold on to? What crumbles on us? What do we need to bring more of an intention to? One more breath. And then from here, bend the knees, place the hands, step or jump back, downward dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. Remember, work on your breath, not my voice. Exhale, lower, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. Exhale, lower back to chaturanga, or lower your chest. Push up through plank. Back to downward dog 2 more times. Work through. Flow a little bit. Stay with your breath. And remember, right, stay calm. Keep your breath smooth. When it's getting hard, like on that third chaturanga, let it be hard. Supposed to be. And then from downward dog, take a breath. Exhale, lower your knees. Sit back on your heels, Vajrasana, grab a little drink, wipe your face off. And then we're going to meet in hero's pose. So hero's pose, then the toenails go flat. Reach down with your thumbs, and you got 2 heads to those calf muscles, right? An inside and an outside, the medial and the lateral. So you're going to push your thumbs between them, and you're going to push that outside one away. Then you're going to sit back between your heels. Sure. Unsickle your feet. Spread your toes, maybe. Now, the space between our knees will be different for everyone, but all of our shins, the outsides of our shins, will be parallel with the sides of the mat. When you unsickle your feet, you feel like your butt actually got a little bit lower. If it doesn't touch the floor, no problem. Put the blanket or the block or the bolster underneath. Now, flick your toenails into the floor. Hug your shins into the midline. You're going to feel like you're getting lighter. Pull up the pelvic floor, pull the belly in. Yep. Take the right hand behind you, your left hand to the outside of your thigh. Sit up tall, take the twist to the right. But be tall here, right? So the inhale is rooting down into the sit bones and into the shins, the feet, and then it's breathing up above the waist. Then with the space, the exhale, we can work that twist even deeper. Keep that right shoulder rooting back. Inhale, come back to center. Pause down the middle. Take your left hand behind you. Right hand to the outside of the thigh. Sit up tall. Then take the twist. Couple more breaths. Keep playing between making space and then moving into it. Inhale, come back to center. Next inhale, come up. Exhale, hands down, all fours. Just reach the right leg back, opening up the knee and the hip. Lower it down, swap side 2. Lower it down. Cross your right leg over your left. Take your feet apart. Sit back between your heels. Reach down to your left side. Pull your sit bone back and out. Then the right. Active from your feet, like you're flointing, like you're pushing on a gas pedal. Root the sit bones down. Breathe up. Yep. And if you want, you can hinge at the hip crease here. So see, when I'm folding, my chest goes first. What wants to go first? My chin wants to do this. This way. Throat back, chest forward. So opposing forces as I fold. Now we're in the back of the hip. We'll get that glute med and piriformis a little better when we're in supine pigeon, but this will start to get the back of the hip. Yeah, control that fold. If you go fast, this is definitely going to happen. Go slow and keep working between your shoulder blades, north to south. And then inhale, come up, unwind the legs. Swap side 2. You could break dance, move into side 2 if you want. And take your feet apart, then sit back between your heels. Then reach down to the right side. Sit bone back and out. You'll notice when you adjust that right side, the left side gets closer to the floor. That's what we're trying to do. And then I'm active all the way from my feet. Sit up nice and tall, then hinge forward. If your knees pull apart like mine do, that's because you're tight in the back of the hip, right? So this makes it a little more challenging. It's even more important for you to keep hugging your shins into the midline, and that'll help hold the space. So right now for me, my adductors are super fired up. These are your adductors, the insides of your thighs. I'm hugging this way, right, to hold the whole thing together because my butt cheeks want to pull everything this way, right? They're abductors. This is adduction, right? AB, AD. There's a difference. Abs going out, ads coming in. I always think of like ad as like Pac-Man or Miss Pac-Man, like in, you're adding to your score, right? That's how I always think about it. So you want to think here, we're hugging in. Couple more breaths. And then inhale, come up, unwind that top leg, spin around, just like we did before. Reach the one leg back, ball the foot on the floor. Just opening up through the hip and through the knee. Belly's the spine, no shutters are closed. Lower it down, swap side 2. Lower it down. Take a breath. Step back to plank. Shoulders are on top of the wrist crease, reaching out of the heels.
Belly's the spine, shutters are closed. Downward dog. Roll to the outside of the right foot. Stack the left foot on top or in front. Come into side plank.
Turn that bicep forward on your right arm so you root into your upper back, right? The shoulder and the upper back. Push the feet like you're pushing on a gas pedal. Now lift that left hip up towards the sky a little bit. Take that left arm up overhead like you're reaching to the front of the room. There's that side body. Inhale, take the arm up. Inhale, next inhale, come back to plank.
Push back, downward dog. Take a breath. Here we go. Roll to the outside of the left foot. So here I'll show you the arm. So see, I got to turn the bicep this way. And as I turn it forward, I root into the upper back. I get all my friends in the game. Then maybe I take the arm up to start like positively stressing that balance a little bit. Then maybe we lift that right hip a little bit. Feel that right side body start to peel. Then we take the arm overhead, and there's a huge opener running up that side. Breathe. Take the arm back up to the sky. Next inhale, come back to plank. Push back, downward dog. Look forward, bend your knees. Step or jump between your hands. Swing your arms up. Take a big reach.
Maybe curl back. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands in front. Nice, y'all. All right, grab your mats. Find a spot on the wall. We'll go upside down. If you're at home, you don't have the wall to kick up on, you can always lay on your back, your mat, knees bent, and then just interlace the hands behind your thigh as you reach the heel to the sky. You take a bunch of breaths, and then you can swap into side two. Or if you're at home or in the studio, if it's not your day to invert, you're always welcome to go legs up the wall or do a pose that feels good to you. Okay? I'm going to talk everyone through downward dog and L pose, and then those of you that want to do your handstands or your headstands or your tripods, whatever feels good. Okay? Go for it. You can work on your own. I'll kind of be on the mat today, so I'll talk through a couple things and see where you want to play. Okay? No, don't use that. You need, oh, it's okay. We could throw a blanket on there, too. We just hang the blanket up. So if you're going to stick with me, let's go all fours, hands, and knees. If you're going to go on your own whenever you're ready. Okay? So with me, all fours, hands, and knees. Feet are touching the wall. Take a couple breaths. When you're ready, lift the knees and the hips. Come to a short downward dog. Step one foot up the wall, and then the second foot up the wall. And then with your legs straight, with your knees bent, that'll be downward dog inverted. With your legs straight will be L pose. So think about what happens in your inversion before you kick up. The last inhale you take, we say we fill up the kidney area. That's like your low back. All right? So the inhale is, and we're taking a big breath and we're filling all that area in. So that when we exhale, remember transverse abdominis is going to draw in. So when we exhale, we get the belly to draw in, and that's how we get the support when we go up. Because remember, shit's going to get interesting when we're upside down because we're going to be ass overhead. So you want to be able to like control everything. You got to hold the space. So just use that exhale. I always think about like when the rocket takes off, right? Everything pushes down into the ground and then the rocket goes up. It's the same thing. When you go to kick up, exhale down into the floor and it's going to bring your hips up to the sky. Little idea of what I'll be doing tomorrow evening, everything from headstand to tripod variations to two-legged kick up to one-legged kick up holding the strap to hollow back to all kinds of shit. It's going down. Well, it's going up, side down. This is exactly what's happening. Go upside down. Is that what it's called? Yeah. Get upside down. Get upside. It's really called inversion conversion, but get upside down with Larry is what they're going with this time. Give yourself another like minute and a half. We have plenty of time.
Maybe we could even hit like a goofy pinch of Maya or something tomorrow too. That just came to me. See, sometimes you got to go upside down for like shit to come to you. As soon as I went upside down, I was like, oh, maybe that goofy pincher.
So if you're about to kick up, go for it. Otherwise, let's meet on our backs. So we'll talk through some back bends. We'll do two. I'll do bridge and wheel. And then those of you, if you want to work your supported bridge, so block under the sacrum. I'm going to talk first one bridge, second one wheel. But if you want to do two wheels or two bridges or whatever you want to play with, go for it. Okay? So let's meet on our backs. Knees are bent, feet are on the floor. Feet hips width apart or just a hair wider. We don't want to be any narrower because we're going to lose the power. Then as I lay back, I just feel my heels with my fingertips. And that'll give me like the distance to have my knees stacked up on top of my ankles, which is where we want to be. That's our neutral position. Now here, my sacrum's flat. So my pelvis is neutral. What wants to happen here? Your belly wants to try to go to the sky like this, and your sacrum's off the mat. We don't want that. So pull your belly to your spine, feel the top of your pelvis root. You should not be able to take your fingers and get them underneath your sacrum, but you should just be able to squeeze your fingers under your lumbar spine, like just squeeze them. Now we know we're in a good place to work. Head and shoulders are back. We could even robot our arms to get a little more stability. Now charge the legs up. So you're going to push down into your heels, sweep the inner heels out, hug the shins in, pull your heels to your butt. Notice, are you still holding the belly? If you lost it, just re-engage it. And when you're ready, lift the hips. Come to bridge. Take the shoulders under a little bit deeper. You want to interlace your hands behind your back. Interlace your hands behind your back. But don't lose that belly button working to the spine. Keep the sit bones reaching like to the backs of the knees. And let that back bend happen under your shoulder blades. One more breath. Now control it as you lower down. See if you can get that sacrum to land flat when you lower. And then take the feet wide, let the knees touch, hands to cactus or field goal. Little shoulder opener here. Now the second one, I'll talk you into wheel, but you're always welcome to do a bridge or wherever you want to play. We did Erdva push-ups the other day. If that's your flavor, go for it. Inhale, open the knees, reset the feet, bring the arms along the sides. See if you're in that neutral position again, if you're able to hold that space. If not, it's okay, set it back up. Feet parallel, hips width apart, sacrum flat, head and shoulders back. Charge it up. When you're ready, slowly lift the hips. Because remember, I tell you all the time, y'all are strong. So you got to be careful not to over-engage your glutes here. And then you're going to hammer the front of your pelvis to the sky, and that's going to be too far. You got to find that sweet spot where the tops of the thighs are still rooting back. You want to go wheel, place your hands wide to the edges of the mat. Turn the hands out, plug the shoulders in, push down to come up. One more breath. Stay engaged as you lower down. See if you get that sacrum to land flat. Take the feet wide, let the knees touch, hands to cactus or field goal. And then open the knees and windshield wiper side to side. When you balance both sides out, come to neutral. Hug those knees into your chest. Give yourself a little hug. Couple little circles, whatever feels good in the moment. And then come to neutral. Keep your knees bent, lower your feet to the floor. Inhale your right leg up, open the hip, take the ankle over the knee. Hug the left knee to your chest, interlace your hands behind your thigh. You can go to the front of the shin if you need a little more challenge here. But the idea is that that sacrum stays flat. So sit bones should be working down to the yoga mat. They're going to try to go up to the sky. Don't let them. And then as your left knee draws closer to your face, take your right knee away. You need to be even more therapeutic. I've showed you all the one where you put your foot on the wall like this. So if the wall was right here, I'd put my foot on the wall. Then I could take my ankle over the knee. And this is a little more therapeutic. If you feel like you got to get into that, get into that. Then you don't have to hold the thigh the same way. So it just makes it a little more therapeutic. Couple more breaths here. And then release the leg, lower it to the floor, unwind that right leg. Lower it down, take a breath. Start neutral. Then let the left leg lift, open the hip, ankle above the knee. Hug the knee towards the chest. Interlace the hands behind the thigh. I know some of you go in front of the shin like I'm holding now, whatever your flavor is. It's not one that's better than the other. It's just whatever you want to play with. But it's all going to be determined by how you can control your pelvis. So sacrum flat, sit bones to the floor. If that feels like you can't control it, then just hold, and you're holding the front of the shin, let go of the front of the shin, hold the back of the thigh. If you feel like you still can't hold that space, use your strap. This time the right knee goes closer to your face. The left knee works further away. And then watch the boing as you release. Lower the right foot to the floor. Unwind that left leg, lower that one down. Take the legs out straight, reach the arms up overhead. Take a pretty big stretch. Feel those side bodies long. Feel how tall we are here. Spread the fingers, spread the toes. Hug the right knee to the chest, roll towards that left hip. Keep the right shoulder rooted down. I like to reach out of the heel on my left leg, but you could always bend the knee to soften up the twist a little bit. Inhale, come back to center. Hug the left knee in, take that right leg out, roll towards the right hip. Left shoulder stays rooted. Keep the side bodies long here, so keep breathing up above the waist. Let the belly draw to the spine, let the shutters close so that we rotate through the spine. We don't just manipulate those ribs. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, those legs out straight, arms up overhead. One more time. Spread the fingers, spread the toes, and hug those knees to your chest. Final pose, Ananda Balasana, happy baby. Nice and wide on the knees. Wider than your shoulders. Sacrum's flat. And then you can reach one leg out, both legs out. You can rock side to side, whatever feels good here. When you're ready, inhale the knees to center, exhale the legs out straight. We'll take Shavasana. Beautiful practice, crew. Feel free to add or remove layers or props. I'm going to talk everyone through laying flat, but you're more than welcome to do a variation that you like. And here as we lay back, we let the legs stretch out. Let the feet roll open. Let the arms come along the sides. Here, as the shoulders settle back, let the palms turn open to the sky. As your head rests back, maybe let your eyes close and allow the tongue to soften from the roof of the mouth. As we turn back to the breath. Here in Shavasana that we let the practice settle. We get ready to move into the practice of life. Same rules apply. We need to take a breath. We need to set a foundation. We need to engage. Then we want to express. It'll give us the best opportunity. And we follow that natural progression. Just like you do in your poses. From the practice of life, we move back to the mat again to continue our practice. Learning a little something about ourselves, about each other, each time we come to the mat. Applying it. Making change. Begin here to draw in a deeper breath, feeling the breath washing over the body. Fingers to toes, crown of the head through the heart, reawakening that better version of yourself. As the fingers and the toes wiggle, maybe let the arms and the legs stretch, or reach, or move in a way that feels good to you. But take your time, move slowly. You're ready, you can hug your knees to your chest and just roll to that right side. Push your hands down as you come up to a seated position. We'll meet together with our eyes closed and our hands in front of our hearts. See if you're holding that space. If it crumbled on you a little bit, it's okay. You're a little tired now from your practice. But just recharge it. Reignite it. And you'll find it again. And one time together to seal in our practice. Together, the sound of Om. Deep breath in. Beautiful. As we softly bow our head to our hearts, our heads to each other's hearts. For all of that hard work and that determination, that challenge, the love and the support you always give each other, it's to you that I bow. Namaste. Thanks, crew. Awesome Oms today. You know, if you have any questions, home crew, get me before you go. Something feels weird, definitely get me before you go. Maybe I'll see some of y'all tomorrow or Saturday. Maybe I'll see you at the workshop. Like I said, we'll be kicking it. I just kind of added Goofy Pincha to it, so we'll throw that in there too. Thanks, y'all.
Keep bothering me. So when I'm on the back, right, and then I have like 7 inches worth of upper body. When I'm on the back, it comes in the back.
Yeah, so I mean, what has to happen is this.